Jason, you wrote an article on P.J. Walker this morning, and this guy was on the practice squad 3 days ago. Now he is a Cleveland Browns legend for life. How did P.J. Walker pull?
Mike,
yes, he is. Yes, he is.
Now, that might be prisoner
That's
moment.
a ridiculous comment.
No way.
The Niners kicker missed a game when he kicked.
Jason has my back here.
You know who P.J. Walker is? Who is the pitcher for the Indians against the Blue Jays? Who threw like in the playoff game? And the fans bought up all of his wedding registry.
Yeah, I know, but
he's a fun folklore figure.
That's
now.
exactly what he is.
He's not a legend, but he's a fun folklore figure. But I know it's gonna drive me crazy.
Yeah,
somebody put it in the chat.
He was a lefty.
You guys
I
can't
remember
remember
that.
his name does not help my legend.
Right? No, it doesn't.
That hurts.
But,
okay, folklore.
Look, he's 20 years from now when we show highlights of that game, we'll go, oh my God, I remember P.J. Walker.
I mean,
we're not going to be talking about him 30 years from now as this guy that,
in the list
won a Super Bowl
in the list of Kevin Hogan and Thad Lewis and Spurgeon Wynn. May their souls rest in peace.
Clipboard Jesus.
P.J. Walker has elevated himself above them. But, he did play an important role yesterday, right? He was more in control than DTR was a couple weeks ago. So credit to Andrew Berry for going out and getting him. The roots of how he landed here go back to Philly. He's a Philly kid. His agent's a Philly kid. Kevin's a Philly guy. AB got to know his agent.
Someone on the staff recruited him to go to Temple.
Yeah, someone on Kevin's staff, a low-level guy, Kevin Rogers.
Kevin Rogers.
He was on Temple staff. He recruited PJ to Temple. But PJ told me he wanted to come play for Kevin Stefanski because Kevin pitched him hard coming out of Temple. Again, the Philly connection. He wanted PJ to come to Minnesota. Him and his agent took a deal to go to Indy instead, to go to practice squad on Indy. And then when this opportunity presented itself, Andrew reached out to his agent right away as soon as – and again, P.J. Walker had $2 million in guaranteed dollars from the Bears, and the Bears still dumped him. So
that's unreal.
It's really unbelievable.
It's unreal, but that's the Bears.
They went with a Division II backup, a Division II undrafted guy as their backup over P.J.
And by the way, they could have used P.J. yesterday.
They could have used P.J. because now Justin Fields is down, and I'll get to that in a second. So the Philly connection, Kevin had known of P.J., reached out to him when he was in Minnesota. They turned him down. They went to Indy. So when this opportunity presented itself, he came here. He actually turned down New England to come to Cleveland. He could have had a chance to be the backup to Mac Jones in New England. It wasn't for sure what was going to happen there, but New England had a better path to be the backup than any other team, and he still came here. And I said, why? When you have Deshaun Watson entrenched as the starter and DTR is the long-term backup, this seems like an odd place that you would choose. And he said, I want to play for Kevin. Kevin believed in me, and I wanted to see what this guy had. They didn't really have much of a relationship, but he wanted to check it out.
Wow.
So he came here.
Plus he knows he's not a starter. He knows
that. But he played well enough. He kept them in the game and put them in a position to win the game at the end.
Funny? He's not a starter, but for these guys, it's about longevity and how many dollars you can extract out of NFL teams over a period of years. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And yesterday during the telecast, someone said, these games, these moments are so critical for third-string quarterbacks in particular, because what he just did on the field today was to buy himself another year or two on somebody's roster.
That story about Andrew Luck that they told, that Andrew Luck got him a job. I don't know if you guys heard that story.
Yeah, I did hear that.
Did you hear that story?
I was at the game.
So I didn't realize this. It was Kevin Burkhardt was calling the game, right?
Burkhardt and Olsen.
And Olsen. I thought they did a good job calling the game.
And Olsen made too much of a deal of the Browns punting.
I disagreed with him on that.
He just kept coming back to it, too. After the pick and the touchdown, he's like, that's why you go for it. No, they didn't give up the points because they went for it and missed.
And I'm usually anti-punt, as you know.
I know
I thought the punt there was the right call.
I thought it was, too. He had the lead.
But I like Olsen. But they told an interesting story that the only reason P.J. Walker probably is around now is because he was not playing professional football. And when they started the XFL in the COVID year, Oliver Luck, Andrew Luck's dad, was the guy running.
Yep.
And P.J. Walker had been on the Colts practice squad. And Andrew called his dad and said, hey, I think you should bring this kid into the XFL. I think he can play there. And he played great in the XFL, but then the league folded due to COVID.
Yep.
And he got the opportunity with Carolina because, what's his name? The coach at Carolina had been his coach in college.
Oh,
Matt Rule?
Yes,
Matt Rule.
And now, he's worthy of being in the NFL at this point. Yeah. I don't think there's any doubt. Now, I say this, and hopefully it's not the case. Because the Browns defense to me is so good, if I knew that Deshaun Watson was not coming back, I'd still want to try to get a better quarterback.
Well, this is where it's a little bit interesting with PJ is he's not on the 53. So they elevated him for the game.
Right.
But
somebody could claim him.
Someone could claim him.
Now.
Well,
not claim him, but
he has to agree to go.
Right.
Yeah.
So it's this where it gets
and it can't be the team that's next on their schedule.
But you can elevate 3 times.
Yeah.
So they could put him back down and then bring him back up if they need. But I mean, we just talked about it. Justin Fields did get hurt. And he does have ties to Chicago. So does Chicago call him now? And I have no idea the extent of Fields' injury. We'll know more in the next couple of days. Would Chicago or another team call him and offer him a spot? Yeah, it was a thumb. On his throwing hand.
Yeah.
So does Chicago or someone else call him and offer him a spot? And does he go or does he stay here?
Well,
the choice is his.
He likes playing for Stefanski, and the Bears cut him. That's easy.
Or do the Browns create a spot on the 53?
I think you got to add him.
Which isn't out of the question. They were going to carry 3 originally before they traded Dobbs, so they could carry 3 on the 53. So I'm kind of fascinated to see how this week plays out.
What
and
do
what
you
they
think?
do.
Bull,
and if Deshaun plays Sunday, then it's a moot point and he goes back to the practice squad.
Right. Bull, you mentioned, though, if he does miss some extended time here, Deshaun, and you'd like to see them go out and get a better quarterback.
I don't know who you're going to go get.
I don't either.
Well, but the thing is, the Browns, listen, you know how I feel about needing a quarterback in the playoffs.
You can't win without him.
And I was talking to a buddy of mine today, and I said, I wonder, and we talked about this a little bit on the show, that eventually defense is going to come around again. Right? Because offense has been dominating.
I think it's happening.
It looks before our eyes, it's happening.
The Browns are not the only defense playing really well.
No.
The Browns are playing the best. But there's a lot of teams playing very good defense.
That have, like the Browns, spent a lot of draft capital on building a great defense to stop these quarterbacks.
Maybe as the season goes, it'll change. Last year, offenses got off to a slow start and picked up as the year went along.
Right.
But it's already gone a little longer this year than last year. There's been a lot of key injuries on offense. Maybe that's not true, but it seems like there's more key injuries on offense than we've seen in years. So maybe we can get back to where, listen, you can't win a Super Bowl with P.J. Walker quarterback. I think we all know that.
Yes.
But we might be back to the point, maybe, where you can win a Super Bowl with a mid-tier quarterback, a decent guy. And again, Watson doesn't seem to be anywhere close to out for the year.
Carson Wentz?
I have to think.
Nick Foles, once upon a time, won a Super Bowl.
I'd almost rather go after a veteran backup who's been with another team on a team that may be playing for next year.
Right.
It wasn't on front of mind, so I didn't really think about a guy specifically.
Right.
I don't know that I want a guy. See, the problem with Carson Wentz is, even though he's the best player out there, he's so turnover prone. Like, I can't have that. If I'm going to bring another guy, a veteran, let me bring a guy who may not be that great, but he's not going to turn the ball over.
An Alex Smith type. If he was still,
yes.
if he's not in the league anymore, but
I know.
that type of quarterback.
You mean Jacoby Brissett?
Kinda.
They are not going to. What's Brissett making this year?
I don't know, but I don't think. Why would Washington let him go?
It's not.
They're not moving him,
guys. It's Deshaun or bust. We can't change it now. We all said it all summer. It's Deshaun or bust.
But again,
there
with
is
this
no
great defense, though, you're really going to do that?
No, I'm not.
The window's too short.
I can't throw my hands up and say, well, Deshaun's
not with this defense.
There's no quarterback to go get. There's none.
Carson Wentz is not available.
I mean, there's 31 other teams that are looking at him and going, nope, not that guy.
I'm saying
they don't have
Jason,
this elite defense.
I think that if Watson couldn't play, that the Browns probably can't win a Super Bowl. What I'm saying is, it's possible that their defense is so good that if they get mediocre quarterback play on a guy who's not going to turn the ball over, that maybe they could still. Again, this is only if Watson was going to be out for the year.
I don't know that I necessarily disagree with that point.
Yeah.
I'm just telling you that guy. Who's that guy?
I'll tell
There's
you.
none available. Maybe
I know
at the trade deadline something emerges.
I know he's old. You wouldn't have to give up much for him, but he's probably available to trade. Andy Dalton. I know he's not getting anybody excited. Nobody you're trading for is getting excited.
Bro,
Andy Dalton's a professional.
I could rally around Andy Dalton more than I could rally around P.J. Walker.
All right.
So it's an upgrade.
All right. Jameis Winston.
See, but Jameis is turnover prone.
He'll throw you a couple, but
Jameis is on a team that's.
And as much as you guys don't want to look at this, you've got to look at the contract. I don't know what these numbers are.
I don't know what Dalton's got, but here's the thing.
You've got to look at the contracts.
You can't. Why would the Saints trade Jameis? They're in the playoff mix.
Yeah.
Andy Dalton's the backup on Carolina. They're 0-6, and they got a rookie quarterback. And now maybe they want Dalton. Maybe they want Dalton around to mentor the kid. I don't know.
Who's backing up C.J. Stroud?
Davis Mills. I think Dalton is the one who makes sense. He's the best backup quarterback on a bad team.
Ultimately, I mean, I think Deshaun's probably back.
Yeah,
within the
probably.
next couple of weeks.
If he posts up and he pulls up on the white steed.
Well, what he did, I don't know if you put any stock into this. He tweeted something that see you soon yesterday.
I did see that. Yeah.
And that, that to me, soon is Sunday.
Right.
Don't say soon is 3 weeks.
Or do you think about it like this? If this bought them some time, I think this 49ers win bought them major time, because now they feel like if I can find a good enough plan and I'm Kevin Stefanski, I know what this guy is turnover prone. I could kind of tweak what I'm doing. Maybe they think, all right, let's go get a win against the Colts. We got the Cardinals coming up.
Who's between the Colts and Cardinals? Why can't I think of it right now?
Huh?
There's a game in between the Colts and Cardinals.
Seahawks.
But
Seattle.
They could have beat the Bengals yesterday.
They could have, but in that game,
every game's coulda, shoulda.
In that game,
they had it first and goal.
That game was fascinating.
I didn't see it. I watched it on my game tracker. Was all.
I got to get a read, and I'll toss it back to you guys. First off, shout out to my guy, Zach, who said Ryan Merritt was the name we were thinking of.
Ryan Merritt.
Yep.
After Jose Batista called him out saying, quote, he'd be shaking his boots, he went out and pitched 4.1 shutout innings against the best offense in the NFL. Shout out, Zach, for watching and listening.
That's 4
also,
1/3,
shout out
Mike.
to people
4
watching
1/3.
and listening.
4.1.
How about, 4 1/3. So, listen, I chugged a half bottle of champagne a second ago. I'll be honest. I got a piece so bad right now.
By the way,
I can't get out this chair.
Me too.
Fine,
Me too. I gotta go
Let
back.
your co-pilot step in for 5
maybe
minutes.
after this, I'll let him. I really do have to pee, so my
I
bladder
do
is so
too.
small. But what y'all got to know is barbershop 3 to 4 o'clock at G Bush, and also some special merch you're giving out in the barbershop. And if you want to cut to it live, you're giving out some T-shirts, some Browns color Kool-Aid Mafia merch.
I'm giving away 2 today, 3 to 4. All you got to do is check out the show, watch the Browns, and get the code word of the day. And I'm going to raffle off 2 free T-shirts. And we've already raffled off a bunch of stuff. Look at all the winners that have won just by listening to the barbershop. We give out rally flags. We got T-shirts. We've given out the hoodies actually today that I'm wearing.
Who's your
today.
model there, bro? I don't recognize him.
No, he's just a regular guy.
Just some dude. So you photoshopped his sweatshirt over.
Yeah, boom, boom, right there.
Are you paying him? Because is that McNuggets in the bottom?
Does he know he's
Looks a
wearing
bit
the
like
sweatshirt?
McNuggets.
He has no clue that's a Kool-Aid Mafia shirt.
He might not even be a real person.
He just photoshopped the
He's
sweatshirt.
AI.
That's how you know G. Bush.
Hey,
listen,
can I make a style suggestion? And if you could just tell me right now in real time if it's trash. I'd like one of these, but I want an orange hood and orange sleeves. Is that trash?
I might jump.
Because now I look at that, and even if I don't look at this, I say, oh, that's a Brown sweatshirt.
Yeah, if I put the sleeves, I see JB all in my mix. You see how I got a pattern, a release date?
Yeah.
He want the J's released all at once.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Jay want the orange one already. You see what I've been trying to do? The brown
I
one.
want a mix of brown and orange, though.